Oh hey, how's it going? So that mission was crazy! So, like I said last time, we were going out to investigate that wolf thing. And we're walking down the thing, all filed in the rank. I'm like somewhere in the middle. Claire's fearlessly leading us up front. Caden called the bag saying that if we, get attacked from the rear, he would have it covered. And I'm like, you probably want to be attacked in the rear. And, well, he didn't really take too kindly to that, but everyone else thought it was pretty funny. And so, there I am, I'm sitting there, walking next to Pebbles, and, she's a bit bigger, but, after the last 6 years in this gnome encampment, anything looks good. And I mean, she was naked, so I was, took a couple peeks, I don't know if my standards would be low enough to actually do anything with her, but I could totally tell she was into me. But I mean, look at this face. Now look at this body. Come on. Of course she's gonna be into me. That's a given. Everybody is. Even some dudes are, which is kind of creepy. But, so, like I was saying, let's get back to the mission. We're walking down, just strolling out there. I'm kind of having fun, I'm like, woo, fresh air! But everyone else is kind of nervous, like, ooh, there's wolves out here. Like, they're just wolves. Freaking boom, I'm gonna hit them with my morning star if they come up here. And if one tries to flee, boo, sling them. And so, we're walking in, and I'm kind of trying to chat up Pebbles a little bit, talk to everybody else, get to know the party, because, I'm an outgoing individual. I like people, and they really like me back. And so, all of a sudden you hear Terry like, whoo, hold up. He blows his whistle. I don't know, he blows whistles or something for something. He explained all the signals, but I wasn't really listening, so he blew his whistle and he put his hand up, and so we all stopped, and all of a sudden he's like, I sense a disturbance. And I'm like, what? Who do you think you are, man? And all of a sudden this wolf, boom, jumps in and just takes out Candlejack. I'm like, no, Candlejack, because he seemed like kind of cool guy. So, all of a sudden I'm jumping up and I'm like, whoo! And I kind of glazed it just a little bit, and it got off Candlejack, and he reared up. And all of a sudden he came charging at us. And Tara's just like, glaive. He glaved it right in the butt. I was laughing so hard. The wolf just yelped and started limping towards us, like still baring its fangs. I was surprised it didn't take off. It was still baring its fangs, coming at us. And we're like, whoa, what is going on? And so Austin Caden jumps in like, whoa. And I was surprised he actually hit the thing. But the wolf just kept on coming. And, oh man. And so all of a sudden Inaba, that little girl I was telling you about last time, she comes in. Boom! Stuck her sword right through his head. Just done. I was like, damn, that's impressive. I was a little bit impressed, if you know what I'm saying. And so, we kill this thing, and we're like looking at it. It seems like a normal wolf. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna keep walking, keep exploring. So we're walking through, and all of a sudden Stormtank's like, huh, it smells funny. I'm like, it smells funny? We're in a freaking forest. Of course it smells funny. But he kind of wanders off for a second, and we're like, and Tara's like, hey, get back here. And just, he didn't listen, and all of a sudden he's talking, and Stormtank is talking to us, and all of a sudden he just goes silent. And all of a sudden we look over there, and there's this big, huge wolf. Like, I mean, it was like the biggest wolf I've ever seen. And the thing had its paws up on Stormtank, looking straight into his eyes. And Stormtank's just like, and all of a sudden he just collapses over and falls asleep. And we're like, oh crap, what the heck just happened? So we're all baring our weapons. And all of a sudden 3 wolves come attacking us from the sides and behind. And all of a sudden, so we're sitting there, just all of a sudden swarming these things, throwing our punches and everything. The monk's sitting there, bah, 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 bah. And I'm sitting there, wah, wah. Admin seems scared, like, I can heal you if you need it, but I don't know how to fight. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? You're a cleric. You're supposed to know how to fight. I'm sitting there, wah, this is how a cleric does it, wah. All of a sudden I reach out and touch one, and I say my prayer to the great holy Jaketh, and I'm like, please cause these wounds. And the thing just drops, and I'm like, ha ha, what up? And all of a sudden I'm looking around me, and all, you know, these wolves are still coming in at us, and we're fighting them all down, and all of a sudden the Nabas chops the big one's head clean off, and we're just like, damn. I'm just like, that is awesome. You know, the big one, you know, granted the big one had all of its attention on Tear, and he was just fighting it blow for blow, and you know, and now it came up from behind and took its head off. And all of a sudden, right when the thing's head came off, the other two yelped and like ran away. They were still alive. And we're just like, huh, that was weird. And so I kind of prod Storm Tank awake with my foot, and I'm like, dude, wake up. Stop sleeping. We're on a job here. You don't get paid if you're sleeping. I'm like, what the heck's wrong with you? I'm going to tell Lattice about this. You know, Lattice should hear about Storm Tank falling asleep. You don't want someone who just falls asleep randomly in your militia. I mean, come on. That's just stupid. And all of a sudden, Candlejack is up there looking into the eyes, and he starts going a little drowsy, and he's like, whoa. And so we catch him, we pull him away from him, and we're like, there's something up with this thing's eyes. And so, you know, we have this thing's head, and Anaba's like, pulls out a dagger, and boop, boop, pops out the eyes, and puts them into a bag, and puts them in her pocket, and then she's like, let's take this head back to Lattice. And we're like, okay, that seems fair. And so we picked the thing's head up, and we started walking back. You know, we got back no problem. And Lattice looks at the thing like, why did you take its eyes out? You guys are creepy. And I'm like, well, you know, he looks at it a little bit more. He calls his buddy Brolax over, and he like starts doing this magical stuff, and he's like, this wolf was possessed. There's something up. Something is going on weird here. There's going to be more about this. For now, there's not much we can do. It's late, but be on your guys' guard. We're going to have a fight in front of us. And we're like, okay, man, that's cool with us, you know. That's why we signed up for this militia. So I talk to Lattice, and I tell him everything that happened, and he's like, he patted me on my shoulder and was like, thank you, Philip, for telling me about this. I really appreciate the work that you're doing here. I'm like, no problem, Lattice. Anything for you. So I head back into the town, and all the militia was, you know, my little party that we had just gotten, you know, done investigating. We're all holed up in the tavern, and they're drinking a little bit. And Tear's all happy because, you know, he had led a successful mission. I sit down by him, I start talking to him, and start forming this nice little friendship. And he tells me about his cousin who, you know, the word is in Stowe she's really hot. And so I feign some interest, but, you know, I try to keep it low key. I don't want him to know that I'm kind of interested. You know, she's a Murdoch, so she's rich, and I've heard she's pretty. That's right up my alley. So, you know, I want to be able to meet her eventually, just because, you know, that's what I do. I'm a pretty good-looking guy, and I like high-class women. And so, you know, after that, you know, he kept drinking for a while. I chatted up with everybody else, and, you know, it was a fun night. You know, I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen next. I guess we're going to do some more investigating with these wolves and stuff, try to figure out what's going on. But, you know, for today, it was a fun day. I had a lot of fun. It was interesting. I got to kill a wolf, and we were successful in our mission of figuring out what the heck was going on, kind of. I mean, obviously we didn't figure out everything, but we figured out this thing with these wolves' eyes. So, you know, for today, it's just time to go to bed, have some fun. Alright, good night.